Trevor Zegras was traded to the Philadelphia Flyers for Ryan Poehling, a 2025 second-round pick, and a 2026 fourth-round pick. Wanted to get your thoughts on that before kind of giving my spiel, because I have actually kind of like a unique perspective when it comes to, I grew up in Philly and I kind of know how they take to a player like Zegras. So, what did you think about this? And what did you think about just the overall value of Zegras and a few of the other guys in that draft as well, like Turcotte, for example? What do you think of what Anaheim got, what Philadelphia got, just kind of the overall value of Zegras? Was it overblown? And it makes it very interesting that they did this right after firing Tortorella, when Tortorella was the guy that flamed Zegras for the way he plays when Zegras wasn't even playing for the Flyers. So wanted
Yeah.
to get your opinions on this one.
I do think Trevor Zegras might have like the worst PR team in the NHL, because I feel like so many people view him as just like a kid that goes out there and tries Michigans and is like a hot dog and isn't a team player. And I think last season he definitely didn't have a good year. He was really poor defensively, but he still has that offensive skill. He still has that playmaking potential. He's still relatively young. Like, he's not that young. He's same draft year as Cousins, but he's still young enough where he could still have a few good seasons under his belt. So I think for a team like Philly that kind of lacks skill, I think this trade makes so much sense for them. Like Ryan Poehling, I think he's like a spicier Peyton Krebs. Like, I wouldn't really view Poehling as like anything remarkable. Like, kind of looks like a bottom six forward and second round pick. Obviously not crazy valuable. Fourth round pick. Sabres have two of those in this draft, so those really aren't that valuable. So it's just, I think it's a very easy gamble for Philadelphia. And I brought this up on Twitter. I kind of said I'd probably rather have Zegras right now than a guy like Josh Norris, just because I think Zegras has, still some potential, and the cost to get him was a lot less. And I do think, that passing ability, that skill he has, that's translatable in a proper system. I do think Anaheim, it's kind of been all over the place the past few years. I don't really think they truly know what they want to be. So I think a guy like Zegras is kind of just left out there, and a team like Philly is looking for skill. I think it just made so much sense for them to make that deal.
One, I think it's really cool that he'll be able to play with Michkov and just kind of see what happens there. I think the Sabres could have been interested in him for one of the reasons. One, their center depth is just not great after having guys like Eichel and then Tage and Cousins and Middlestat. Now their center depth isn't all that great. So that would have been one thing. And two, that's something that could bounce Kulich and or Benson out of the top six, which, I'm sorry, if you're a serious hockey team really trying to make the playoffs next season, I don't want those two guys to be relied on to be top six performers. I think that's frankly unfair to them. Everyone knows how I feel about Benson and the development. They're asking way too much of this guy. He's a great player. I love the metrics. I love the tenacity and the way he plays, but it's too much. He's just turning 20 this summer, and he's a smaller guy. And with Kulich, he just burst onto the scene last season, and at the beginning of last season, it wasn't that great. By the end of it, it was really good. It was awesome to see. But to rely on that on an 82 game season where it is like you guys have to make the playoffs, I'm not confident in that. So I actually would have been okay with a trade for Trevor Zegras in that sense.